Hello, how are you doing and what are you getting into? Today's topic is the makings of me, which is also the makings of you. That was a song that came out some years ago with Gladys Knight, and that was a song also, not just with Gladys Knight, but it started with Curtis Mayfield. So I'm just going to see who's on tonight and see if any of my friends are out here. See if anybody's out here. Are you out here? Are you out here? Let's see if my Cali folks is up. Let's see if my sister is on here today. And so okay. All right. I don't know what was going on my phone this minute ago. I'm sorry about that, everybody. Today's topic is the makings of me. There was a song that came out by Curtis Mayfield back in the day. It's called The Makings of You. I just want to go over a couple of things, and I'm sharing my journey with you. Today is day 54 of 100 to New. And I always say, I'm the CEO of Results Global Empowerment. We teach women to use their femininity, personality, authenticity as a commodity. As a result of working with me, these women are empowered. They monetize their intrinsic value, align with purpose. I'm looking for women who want to gain clarity, insight, strategic, custom techniques that radically transform their life and business for massive productivity and efficiency. Who do you know? If you know somebody, have them inbox me. I'll do a personal coaching with them. So now today is the makings of me, which was a song that came out called The Makings of You. So I was listening to this guy. He said, he's a herbalist. He's into herbs. He's into healing and philosophy and psychology. So many different levels of healing. He said the first step to healing is self-love. And I was like, wow. And it just really I pretty much teared up with that. He said the first step to physical healing is self-love. He said you can take all the herbs in the world, but if you don't know the power you possess and who you are and love yourself as the Creator created you to be, then he said you won't be able to heal your physical body. And I thought, wow, that's so important. So the makings of you today is I'm learning about myself a lot more. They say when you have exposure, that you discover more things. Exposure leads to self-discovery. So I'm discovering more and more about myself the more that I'm exposing myself to other things. So one of the things I notice is that if people don't share my core values, I noticed that it's very hard for me to be in a close proximity with them and to have a relationship with people who don't who don't have discipline and accountability and share the basic virtues that I hold to be dear. If I don't have that in common with someone, I'm noticing that relationship does not serve me or them. Because when you share core values with people, when you know what your values are first and you share them, and accountability, I'm big on accountability, and discipline is one of my things. And I notice that a lot of people don't have a regular practice of anything. They don't really have a practice of praying, a practice of meditation, a practice of reading, a practice of walking. They don't really have a lot of practices, and which means that they lack a lot of discipline to do the things that they really want to do. And so I noticed that those relationships don't really mesh well with myself. And another thing is too, someone told me the other day, they told me, it says, when you say certain things, I get frustrated. I'm like, take responsibility for your own stuff. Come on now. People, we don't know what's going to trigger people. But if someone triggers you, that's about you. That's not about them. If you don't like the way someone brings a message, or if you can't understand what someone is saying and you feel triggered, they might not even know you. They might not even know what you're thinking. Baby, that's about you. You got to take responsibility for the energy that you bring to every situation, as Oprah said. You got to understand and have some accountability for who you are. So I'm noticing that people who don't have no discipline, they also don't own their own stuff. And they do not apologize. They're full of pride, and they don't apologize, and they're not very accountable for their actions and what they do and what they say. They feel like it's someone else's fault why they said what they said. It's someone else's fault why they did what they did. They don't take responsibility for the actions and for the spirit or for the energy that they bring to the situation. And so I'm noticing that when you are coming to a level of really owning your stuff and knowing thyself, clearly understanding what the Most High's operation is for you, your modus of operandi, and you have a virtue that you're practicing, you're going to find that your circle gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and that your tolerance for certain speech and certain behavior is just not going to be the same. So I'm on this journey, and thank you guys who've been watching and following me as I've been changing my attitude, changing my life, and changing some things about myself. Hopefully that you're doing business with the Creator and the Most High and finding out things that trigger you and knowing you who you are and taking responsibility and accountability for your own self life. And hopefully that you found some temperance and some discipline and some things that you practice daily, that you can actually see some change taking place in your life. So temperance is a power all unto itself. So this is the makings of me. Knowing that I must have core values, and I do. And knowing that people that I find that I get close with and I can really tolerate conversations with and share energy with them, that we both have discipline. We also have accountability. Those are some things in integrity. Those things are just non-negotiables for me. You must be responsible for the energy that you bring. You must hold yourself accountable. If you're being triggered by anything from somebody else, then you got to do business with you. You are responsible for you, not someone else. And he made me mad, that's why I said this, or she said this to me. I said something to somebody that I intentionally meant to say, and I'm not proud of what I said, but I am responsible for what I said. I am responsible for my action that I thought about before I did it. Because if you are triggering me, then I am responsible for my spirit. I am responsible for my attitude, my emotions. I cannot hold anybody accountable for any triggers that I have. That is my responsibility. I got to own my own stuff. And that's what I expect from people that I'm around, is that they own their own stuff too. One of the things that I wanted to share too, that I was talking about tonight is is when you begin to love yourself more as the Creator has made you. You said love others as you love thyself. Your tolerance, I'm noticing that my tolerance for tomfoolery and foolishness is just getting lower and lower and lower. And not only are your standards raised, but your conversation becomes less. Someone posted the other day, and I really respect her, T, and she said a lot of people don't really listen. They listening to interject so that they can speak, but they're not really listening to what the person is actually saying. And so I've just been saying, be quick to hear, slow to speak. We got 2 ears and 1 mouth. So that's something that I've worked on and I'm working on. Be quick to hear and slow to speak. These are the makings of me. Knowing myself, knowing what my triggers are, knowing what my tolerance is. I love that book. Who's that book by? James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. Self-control is discipline. Right thought is mastery. Calmness is power. Self-control is discipline. Right thought is mastery, and calmness is power. That's something that I hold dear. That's from that book, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. I am responsible for my actions. If I'm being triggered by anything that someone's saying or doing, self-control is strength, not discipline. Sorry. Self-control is strength. Right thought is mastery. Calmness is power. Self-control is strength. Right thought is mastery. Calmness is power. That's very, very important. I need to have the discipline or the wherewithal to own my own stuff, to be accountable for what I say, be accountable for what I do, be accountable for how I feel. And if I'm noticing that if I'm feeling a certain type of way because you're doing something, then that's something that I have to work on. That's something that I have to find out. Why am I? Oh, James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. As a Man Thinketh. And Danielle, you out there in the Bay Area. That book is a few dollars everywhere out there. So they got that book in the used bookstores and stuff like that. Especially, in Berkeley, right there on Telegraph. The book is like $4 or something. As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. Yeah, go right over there to Pegasus bookstore. Right there off of Shattuck or Telegraph or somewhere over there. Alrighty. That's my Bay Area people on here. But self-control is strength. Right thought is mastery. And calmness is power. So knowing what my triggers are, that's something I've been noticing about myself. But not tolerating people. Hi, Camille. Thank you for being on here. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, everybody that's coming on here. Jenny came on. Cynthia, my sister. When people are triggered by something you say, and you have boundaries, and you're saying, wait a minute, don't speak to me in this way, or don't talk to me in this way, and they can't own what they've said, or they can't own what they've done, I'm noticing that I'm not putting up with that, because you have to have a level of accountability for the spirit that you bring. And if you feel like you're being triggered by something I'm saying, and I'm telling you I don't mean any harm, but yet you find it valid to disrespect me, I no longer am available for that type of tomfoolery. I'm no longer available for you to step on me. I'm no longer available for you to just discount me. I'm no longer available for that. And I noticed that since I've been on this journey, I've been switching my brain and switched off certain things. And I've been open to what serves me, and I've been closed to the foolishness that has come to harm. And so as women, we are made to receive. We have that womb that received the seed from the man. I talked about the womb today, but we are receptors. So we have to be careful. I guard what comes to me. I'm guarding what comes to me. I own my own stuff. I'm responsible for anything that triggers me. That means there's some work, some healing that must take place in me. But anybody around me must have some type of discipline, integrity, and accountability. The more I know myself, if I don't share core values with people and virtues, then it's really hard for us to abide in the same space consistently as a friend. You can be somebody that I know of, but I cannot have that person in my inner circle that does not share the same type of virtues, because people who are not very disciplined, who don't have anything that they practice, they're very prideful, and they don't own their own stuff, and they don't take accountability or responsibility for what they do. Somebody always makes them do that. They always have an excuse. And I'm not an excuse. I am a problem solver. I'm a giver, not a taker. I'm a problem solver, not an excuse maker. Alrighty. So with that being said, you guys have a good evening. Thank you for watching. Share and like, share and like, share and like, share and like. And please tell a friend. And hopefully maybe this make you, as you share my journey with me, you'll see maybe some things that you know that you can heal yourself with, and some things that you can open up to the Creator about that you can deal with. But just remember, we got to own our own stuff. This is the makings of you. This is the makings of me. Peace and blessings. Thank you for watching.